Discord. Yay! Happy Monday, everybody. Hope everyone is doing super well. I'm in a great mood because it's Monday and I get to see all of your faces. My name is Emily Yanez. For anyone I haven't met yet, I look forward to the chance to meet you in person. Tonight, we are going to talk about something I feel like we never talk about anymore because we weren't allowed to see people in person, but now we are. So we are going to be training tonight on all things in-person events. Yay, hallelujah. The time has come. So, I mean, gosh, some of you who are newer maybe have never even been to an event because you came in during COVID times. But I think, a lot of people get in their heads about it. I mean, we get in our heads about everything. So of course we're going to get in our heads about events too, right? And make that difficult and harder than it needs to be. So we are going to literally break down how to do it, what to do before, what to do after, what to do during, and just try to hopefully simplify it and make it seem a little less scary, because I'm telling you, events are the way to go. Not only does it feel good to be around other people, but I think it really moves people along faster in the readiness scale of wanting to jump in. And I think, gosh, we just had one this weekend. Andy Morales and our team had one. It was just so nice. Like I almost like get emotional because I'm in LA, so it's just a different beast. I know some of you are in other parts of the country where it wasn't as locked down, but for us, my goodness, it's just been like endless. And so it almost makes me feel like emotional to talk about what a wonderful time it was to gather and be around other people, which is so sad, but true. And I think people are just really craving that. They're craving the hugs and just being able to interface with people. And we need human connection, and a lot of us have been really missing that. So I always like to tell you guys when I was a new coach, because I feel like for any, if there was anything to have an issue about, Emily had an issue about it. So I hope that it helps to hear my issues, because you can have all these issues and still be successful. You just got to get over it. So I know for me as a new coach, I wanted nothing to do with hosting an event. I loved attending them. I loved bringing people with me. But the idea of having my own was a hard no. I had a concept that I was not a good host. Jamil would say, you should throw a healthy happy hour. And I'd go, I'm just not a good host. And I didn't even really know where that came from, but I'm former therapist. So of course I like to really dig in, where did that come from? Where did that start? And for me, my parents never hosted anything. We never had people over at our house. That was just kind of the house I grew up in. It was a bit dysfunctional. We lived kind of far away from people and we did not have people over. And so I didn't get to see my parents modeling that for me. So instead of actually trying to host something, I just was like, I'm not good at it. Haven't seen it done by my parents, so I must not be good at it either. And so I thought hosting was for other people. And I really needed to stop saying that over and over to myself, because I convinced myself it was true and it absolutely wasn't. I just didn't have any experience doing it. Didn't mean I was bad at it. And Jamil used to always tell a story. If you haven't heard it, it always stuck with me, that his very first healthy happy hour he invited a ton of people. He had Amanda, help make all this food, full on spread. He had a slideshow presentation, and one person came, and it was his neighbor from upstairs. And he says he wanted to cancel so bad and just tell her, forget it, I'm not having it, because he just thought it was going to be this big thing, and it wasn't. And she showed up and he did his presentation like he planned to, and she became a client, and it taught him that even if there's one person, it's worth it. And so I always clung to that, because I thought, well, hey, I mean, gosh, we can all get at least one person in the door, right? And so if one person comes, that's a win. I just started to change the way that I thought of a successful healthy happy hour or event, or whatever you want to call it. So I've thrown a ton over the years. I really, really love them. I think, like I said, it causes your clients to become coaches faster. It causes your pre-clients to become clients faster. They see all of these other people. They see the credibility. They trust the process when they see other people that are living it, talking about it, having a good time. And they also see that we're a, diverse community. It's not some weird thing. And I think it also really helps to support your current clients who maybe have been hesitant to get integrated or hesitant to speak in the group. And all of a sudden they're around other people on plan and they just light up because maybe they've been very secretive about it, but now they can talk to other people about it. And you just see people light up. And then all of a sudden, these people who never wanted to hear about coaching are like, well, that was kind of fun. I don't know, maybe. And so events nothing makes someone kind of see the light faster than an event. So I think the first thing, which is the funnest part of all, funnest isn't a word, the most fun of all, is deciding what kind of event you want to have. And here's the beauty of it. Since I had only been to healthy happy hours that were run a certain way, I thought I had to do the exact same thing. And that was another reason why I was lagging on doing my own, because it just didn't feel authentic to me. It felt very businessy. It was Jamil, like it was Jamil's way, which is great, but it's just, that's not my way. And I realized that that's okay. We can all have events in our own way that feels right to us. And so think about different things like, do you want to do a breakfast, a brunch, a lunch, a dinner? If you're not comfortable, maybe your space isn't big or whatever, it doesn't have to be at your house. It can be at a restaurant. It can be at your mentor's house. Like, you got to start thinking out the box. I think a lot of us are like, my house is too small. I can't do it. You find all these reasons to say no. But we can make this whatever we want. So I enjoy a good theme, believe it or not. I love themed things. So we've done many with themes. So I remember we did one that was all things cauliflower. We've done like surviving the holidays and just having dishes that were like great side dishes to bring to a holiday function. We've done ones that were skip the diet, just eat healthy. We've done healthy sweets. You guys could do a sports themed. I don't know what guys like. Something that's up your alley. But it can be anything you want. And it doesn't have to be a full business presentation. Like, you can do hands-on activities. I've done things where we actually bring enough supplies to show people how to make cauliflower crust. Like, get creative, like whatever you enjoy, infuse that into what you want to do. And make sure to definitely just pick a date and go with it. I think a lot of times like, oh, I need to decide when. Just pick a date and go with it. That's how it can start to roll. And honestly, the more heads up, the better. It's difficult to get a lot of butts in the seat if you're just giving people like a week out. I would definitely check with your support team and make sure they can come and support you. When I was a newer coach, I would always, Jamil, these are the dates I'm looking at. Are you free those days? I wanted to make sure it was a day that my mentor could come and attend and support me. So make sure you're coordinating with your team and your coaches. If you have a lot of coaches locally, give them a couple dates and see when most of them can come too. So those are some good pre-planning things. But yeah, bottom line is just pick a date and do it. There's never going to be a day where you're going to get 100% attendance. So don't worry about who can't come and just focus on who can and who wants to be there. So that is sort of the fun, like brainstorming part before the event. And now Sophie's going to go into, honestly, the most important, which is the pre-stuff, the pre-game work. So.
All right. So yes. And I think like I will tell all of you guys, and Emily will attest to this. My concept was that if I threw an event, nobody would come, which for a long time, like I dragged my feet. But then once we did my first one, I was just like, this is so much fun. And everybody had a good time. And I realized it wasn't hard. So I'm just gonna let you all know that, I even struggled with that too. So after you've done all that pre-stuff that Emily was talking about, you wanna create a Facebook invite. And there are very simple videos for how to do that. And you want to make sure that it's inviting, and you want to make sure that, if you've done events before, you can go ahead and pop some of the pictures in the banner. If you haven't, you can go ahead and ask like maybe your mentor coaches if they have some, but you don't want it to just be something generic. You want it to be personalized and make it fun and inviting. And then with the graphic, you also want to include the city and the time. If it's at somebody's personal house, please don't put the address there. Just go ahead and just tell people that you'll give them the address right before the event. And then you also want to make sure that your event is public, because this is for two reasons. You want other coaches to be able to invite, and then also you want other people who are invited to be able to invite, because you want to make this as open as possible and you want to make it as easy as possible for everybody that is there. And then you're going to start to invite everybody and their mother. So you're going to make a list of everyone, clients, friends, family, people that are on your heart. And you don't want to forget the people that are also loving on your journey posts that are local to you. And you can figure out who's local to you. You invite all of them. And when you do, you're going to go into the invite, you invite them all, but you don't stop there. You want to make sure that you take a moment to message them, and you're going to message them and tell them why you're inviting them. Like, you're going to either text or Facebook Messenger, and you're going to tell them why. And like, you're either going to tell them that this is going to help you with like your own journey. They're going to be able to hear, other people's journeys that are similar to them. So they'll have other people to relate to. They're going to understand what this whole thing is about, like this whole community is about, and just helps them feel like they belong, which is really beautiful. And you're going to want to send the link too, because you don't want them looking for it, because I'm going to tell you, we all get invited to so many things. We don't see things all the time. And you want to make this as easy a process as possible. So you want to give them the link. You want to tell them why you want them there. And then, just say, what do you think? Do you think you want to come? And then you can also, too, let them know that they can invite their friends and family to come with them, because chances are, if they bring a friend, they're more likely to come. And I know I've experienced that before. And if you have clients that are coming, consider having them share their journey. You guys, it's really powerful when somebody shares their story. And it doesn't have to be a formal thing. It can just be an informal thing. Like maybe if they bring, you can also have them bring their favorite lean ingredient to share, because so many conversations go around that. But it's really powerful. And I've had a few clients share that they came away just being more open to even the conversation of coaching, because they saw what it's all about. Now, we do have certain verbiage that we can drop to you guys, and we'll share it with you guys. I don't want to read it to you guys, but basically like specific verbiage for potential clients, potential coaches, current clients, current coaches, and maybe just friends and family of specifically what you can say. And it makes it easy, and just all you're going to do is copy and paste and repeat. And you might personalize things a little bit, but for the most part, don't make this hard, you guys. Don't try to create something beautiful and wonderful for each person you invite. Just make it just simple for yourself, because otherwise you'll be inviting forever. Next, you're going to share the invite in your client group, on your personal page, in your stories. Be bold. And as soon as you create the invite, you're sharing it everywhere. And you're going to have to share often. You guys, just because you say something once does not mean it's going to stick. And a lot of times, let's be honest, we all get so busy with our lives that we might mean to put that in our calendar, or we might say, oh yeah, I'm going, but then we haven't registered, the actual day and time yet, or whatever. People appreciate being reminded often. So you're going to be sharing, maybe each week in the client group, hey, this is coming up in a few weeks. You're going to be sharing on your page and your stories, hey, you guys, this is coming up. And then that way you're just constantly reminding them in a positive way. So when you're with all the coaches that are going to be coming, and actually people who maybe coaches who aren't coming, but maybe they have local people, they can feel free to share this whole event in the same way. So encourage the local coaches to do that, and other coaches. And if like somebody is a brand new coach, you're going to have to kind of come alongside them and say, this is how you do things. And then keep checking back to see who said they wanted to attend, start making a list. And then inside the invite, what you want to start doing to kind of like beef things up and build excitement is, you can, if it's like a formal lean ingredient at your house, you're going to start posting maybe lean ingredients you've had at past events, or maybe you can even do a poll and ask, oh, I'm thinking about serving this or this. What would you guys like to see? You might share some healthy tips in there. You will maybe have each coach who's coming take a day and share their journey post, or maybe they'll go in there and just do a quick little live, who knows? And then maybe each week, especially if you've done it ahead of time, just go in for 5 minutes and just kind of share what you're excited about, and like kind of building that excitement of what they can expect at the event. So now the nitty gritty of the work is that last week. So the last 7 to 3 days, you're going to, keep personally inviting people, and you're going to find that new people will start coming to mind as you're inviting people. You're like, oh, I forgot about this person, or I forgot about that person. You're going to post in your Facebook client group and say, hey, this is coming up in a few days. Who's coming? You know, and it can be something fun and light where it'll look inviting. And then you're going to private message anybody, even if they haven't said, yes, I'm coming. If they have liked your post, or they have just like, you know, they viewed it, you know, whatever, you're just going to be like, hey, I'm so excited to have this event. It's coming up. I would love to have you come. What do you think? Or, you know, or if you know somebody who maybe would benefit from this, or you think somebody would love to come, like, feel free to invite, you know. And then you're going to text everybody and just, you know, remind of all the people who have agreed to come or said they're coming, and you're going to remind them. 2 days prior to the event, you're going to keep on inviting people. And you can actually go ahead and in your back office, you can message all of your active clients, your inactive clients, and you can actually even send emails to, you know, other friends and family that you feel like would benefit, or maybe like, you know, you guys have talked before, and just let them know that this is coming up the night before the event. This is a big one, you guys. You are going to message everybody who said they're coming, and you're going to say, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see you tomorrow at blah, blah, blah time. Give them the address, and just like, you're just going to do that. And if they haven't responded back that night, the morning of, you're going to say, hey, you guys, I just want to make sure, like, are you still coming? I would love to see your face. And then after that, you let the fun begin.
She's not kidding. She's a pro. And I know it sounds like a lot of reminders, but people need it. They appreciate it. And I'm telling you, like, I can't remember how many people are at, I was going to say last year, but it was probably 2 years ago now. Another great idea too is to combine an activity with your healthy happy hour. So we had a woman that her whole thing is succulents, and it was around Halloween or Thanksgiving. And she basically, we made these succulent pumpkin centerpiece things. We must have had like 40 people there, or 50 people, just to do, I mean, a big part of the draw was they wanted to come do this activity. And so, but it really does take that much reminding. I wish it was as easy as just adding them to a Facebook event, but it's not. So day of, I like to have someone be the greeter, like wherever people are walking in, just so people don't, I mean, people are nervous. So it's nice to have someone just be like, hi, welcome. So glad you're here. I love a good sign up sheet. It's always fun for people to say how much weight they've lost. There's a sign up sheet that I have that says that. I don't know if I made it or it's Optavia's, but it's always fun to add that up after everyone's there, and then announce to everyone, oh my gosh, like everyone here has collectively lost X amount of pounds. So that's always fun, as well as keeping track of who and putting who invited you, because like Sophie said, you might have a coach from another state inviting a client and they didn't even know they attended. So it's always nice to see why and how everyone ended up there. I always like to have a little table with like every single guide for every single program we have, because people inevitably are like, oh my gosh, a teen program, who knew? Or, oh, a gout, you guys do gout too. So just to give people an idea of the different programs we have, maybe the life book, maybe some samples of fuelings, just let everyone kind of arrive and vibe and socialize a little bit. And I like to start, if I'm going to do a full presentation, I like to start once people have had their food and they're sitting down. But maybe that's just me. I like people being distracted with eating and not just staring at me. So that might be my personal preference, but whatever you want to do. And just remember, you can absolutely do a full presentation where you're like, what's Optavia? This is Optavia. This is that. That's great. I worked my way up to that. I used to do very casual ones where I would have clients that I thought had great coach potential share, because there is a magic in having some clients share and get all this positive feedback. And they're like, oh my God, like my story is special. Like, and then all of a sudden they're like, maybe I do want to do this coach thing. So definitely don't just have all coaches share. If you have clients present, let them take the floor and share, because it's a huge deal and it's going to change the game. So definitely make sure you have clients in mind to share. I don't know if you guys saw in the chat, Sophie I asked her to make a document, because she's so good at events, kind of giving you all these steps. So we have a Google Doc we'll be sharing with everybody that also has a little Google slide presentation that we tend to use at our events. You're more than welcome to make a copy and use yourselves. So all of this will be provided. And then, yeah, just making sure that whoever's going to share is prepped. I like to give, I'm very type A, but I like to give everyone kind of a photocopy of the presentation so they know who they're before, who they're after. I know not everyone is that anal about stuff, and I just like for people to feel prepared and like no surprises. But that's just an example of how your day can go. Again, make it you. And then Kelly is going to kind of wrap it up and let us know what kind of work is done after an event, because it's still not over. There's more to be done.
Yes, absolutely. And I just want to say before we go any further, Emily and her whole crew of people are on the West Coast, and I am a coach on the East Coast and doing events by myself with just the people that I had brought into Optavia and people who I knew, and building that community scared the life out of me. And my first event, I had 2 people come, and then 2 coaches, 2 like potentials and 2 coaches, and that was it. And we've built up to doing walks and park meetups, and we've even had things where we had people, we had an actual chef teach us how to cook. I mean, it's just, we've done all kinds of fun stuff since then. But oh, it was so scary. So if you happen to not be close to your coach or the community that they've built or the community of coaches above them, it's still possible to do events successfully and have a lot of fun. And they're really powerful. So like the whole point of an event, like its base point, is to have community built, right? Like that face-to-face community and being with people. And so any event where you have community is really important. But there are some other kind of layers of importance that you're hoping to come from an event. And this is kind of where the follow-up is going to come into play. So at the event, you're probably going to have people there who maybe are not part of Optavia, who are not clients yet. And you want, or you hope that those people may see the value in becoming a client. You may also have people there who are potential coaches, and you want them to see value in becoming a coach. And you may have clients there who you want to see value in also potentially becoming a coach as well, right? So you're building community and you're hoping to kind of move people closer to basically what's possible for them, right? You want to awaken them at this event. Well, that may very well happen, but if you do not follow up, then nothing's going to happen. So after the event, one of the things that I love to do is with that sign-in sheet, I like to get everybody's email address, because almost every time we're going to eat something, and I always say, I'll send the recipes out, right? So the easiest thing you can do is then send the recipes out. And Emily taught me this, ask this question: what was your favorite thing about the event? Don't say, did you enjoy yourself? Because that gives them that option of like, well, it really sucked, or I hated it, or whatever. Like, nobody's ever said that to me, but I'm just saying, like, put it out there positively. What was your favorite thing about the event? What did you enjoy the most? What inspired you the most? I saw you tearing up when Vicky spoke at and told her story. Did that resonate with you, right? Like, be positive and put that out there and ask that question, right? So you're going to connect with these people. And it's very much like if you've ever done a trilogy, when you follow up those people who went to the trilogy, what did you enjoy? What stood out to you, right? Well, then these people are going to respond to you. And if you're hoping to move them to client, or if they're client hoping to move them to coaches, then you move them to the next step, right? So if they're not a client yet and they're like, oh my gosh, when Vicky talked, that was my story. Like, that's how I feel now. And I want to feel like she feels. And so you said, well, you know what? You're in health and well, that's our group is Health and Wellness Done Right. That's the adding group that we do before people become clients. You're in that group. You've watched the videos. Why don't we hop on and do a health assessment and see what's possible for you? And so you set up that health assessment. So you move them to the next step of integration, right? If they happen to be a already client or someone who you're hoping that maybe will see the value in coaching, then when they respond, your opportunity there is to say, well, would you like to talk more and maybe just explore what coaching might look like for you? And if they're not in the Chasing Better group, you want to add them in there, tag them in a story, tag them in the video, and then set up a Coach Explore call. Guys, the magic of these events is the event, but nothing happens. Nobody moves forward. No more integration happens if you don't follow up with these people afterwards. So if you thought that your work was done when the event was over, you are incorrect. Unless your only point was just to bring some people together in community, which is fine. But typically we don't, it would be like saying like, oh, these things are so wonderful, and then never saying, hey, we can offer this to you too. Like there's an opportunity for you too. It's not just for us, right? You would never do that. You would never like put this beautiful cake in front of someone and then not invite them to have a piece. And then it's a horrible analogy for Optavia, but you know what I'm saying? Like you want to offer that opportunity to them, open that door, and then they get to decide, just like everyone, whether they step through it, right? So that is the easy and the fun and the very important part of follow up at the end.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Kelly. So as you guys see, it's so much more than just the event, right? I think we all get so like stuck on just hosting the event that we forget like the work that comes before and after. But it bears so much fruit. And, we just had one this weekend. The Morales had one in Whittier, and there was 10 people in total, and half of them are coaches, but it was beautiful and people still shared their story. And I know that things are going to come from it. So I don't want you guys to feel like, well, I should probably wait till after the holidays because no one will come. Plan on it being small and intimate. Like plan on just having a couple people over. Like start there, and the next one will be bigger because of course, you know how the holidays are. People are very busy, but you can just say like, come by for a lean and green dinner. Like we don't have to wait. And I'm telling you, it's just so much fun. It feels so good. And I don't know, like in a world that's so chaotic still, like it's just really nice to be around people who are positive, who we all have something in common that's not divisive, and we can all just talk about like health and just it's really nice and healing, and we all need that right now. Let's not pretend like we don't. We need each other bad. So I hope that was really helpful. My 2 cents to you is just pick a date and do it. Just rip the Band-Aid off. Once you do it, you'll be like, why didn't I do that sooner? Why was I making that such a big deal? Or maybe some of you love to host stuff and you're like, gosh, why didn't I think of that? Like, I love having people over because not everyone's a weirdo like me. Some of you really like hosting and throwing parties. So do it. Like, pull on your strengths and do it. Like, yeah. Oh, Kelly?
I forgot one thing.
What's
For all
up?
of you who are thinking the people who didn't come, who were interested or who didn't show up or lost, I should have said, you can reach out to them with the same recipes that you send to everybody else and say, hey, we're sorry you missed the event. Here are the recipes that we had, and open up that conversation as well. I should have said that and I
Absolutely.
forgot, but it doesn't mean that they're just a lost
Yeah.
cause because they didn't show up.
And that's what we love to do. We love to give people value for free. We're not going to just hold on to these amazing recipes because you didn't come. So now you're axed, you don't get them. Like, this is what we do. And people really will remember that and appreciate it. And they'll be like, oh, I couldn't even come. And that was so kind of her to reach back out. So it's little things like that that really make a big impact on people. And that's why we're different than any other thing out there. Like, we're just so different, and we all have big hearts and we love people, and it shows. So, all right, guys, hope that was helpful. Like I said, we'll get you a document with all of this stuff on it that kind of lays out what we covered. And yeah, hope we brought value. So we'll see you next Monday. Bye, everyone.